Hey everyone, it's Asia Dang, and we are doing an April budget. As always, we are going to recap how March went. If you guys haven't seen what this is my budget. I'll link above in the cards so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but I manually write my budget in every month. And of course, the virtual budget you guys can see is going to be in the description box as always. A couple things. One, just saw the tax guy, paid my taxes for 2018, and they were a doozy. I share my budget every month, so you guys know that I make some pretty good money. I do owe, I did owe, because I already paid it, $43,000 to the government. And it hurts, breaks my heart, even though every month I save 25% of my income to go to taxes. So I actually had $50,000 set aside for taxes, and then through deductions and stuff, we were able to get that down to 43. And now I can use that balance of $8,000 to go to my student loans. So that's awesome. But yeah, I paid my taxes. And a lot of you guys ask me how I do my taxes. And very simply, I take 25% of my income, whatever I get paid from anything, and I put it aside in a completely separate bank account. I don't touch it. I don't even look at it unless it's to transfer from my main account to my tax account. And every year I'll just, well, from now on, because I actually never really had to owe that much money before, from there, I'll pay the tax guy. And I know a lot of people who are in my position that do it quarterly, so they pay quarterly taxes. I personally, you know, one, I don't have a problem saving that money, and two, I don't know, I just don't like giving the government money until I know how much money I owe them, kind of thing. So I don't want to give them more than I have to give them. So that's why I like to do it all in one lump sum, but there are options to do it quarterly if you are a freelancer. Something I also did, and I also want to mention, I just posted a video. What is it called, actually? I forget. It's titled How I Took Control of My Loan Debt. And I'm surprised actually not many of you watched it, so I'm going to talk about it now. But you guys see my income now and you see what I make. But it was only, I think maybe 2-3 years ago that my income on my tax return was $23,000. So it wasn't that long ago that I was making no money. In fact, I think maybe in California that would make me like maybe at the poverty level. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what it felt like. So when you guys say, you know, I can pay off my loans easily if I made that kind of money. Well, remember, I also didn't make that kind of money. So this is really, really new. So I just wanted to go ahead and mention that. If you want to check out that video where I go more in depth about that, you can check on that in the cards. But yeah, don't feel frustrated about your financial situation. If you feel like you need to make more money, do it. Like, I know a lot of people, when I listen to Dave Ramsey, Debt-Free Screams, a lot of the people who have paid off their debts say that budgeting was the key. And while I agree budgeting is important, for me, the key was to make more money. There was no way I could have been able to pay off my student loans in a reasonable amount of time if I continued to make $23,000 a year. That shovel is not big enough. If you guys already have a full-time job and you're looking for a side hustle, I did a video about my side hustles, and again, link in the video or link in the cards. But I know a lot of you guys ask me how I make money on YouTube and Instagram, and I honestly can't do a video on it because I can't take credit for any of it. All I do is be myself and try to post content that you guys appreciate. However, most of it comes down to my management team, who is able to get me these deals and negotiate these deals on my behalf. So that's why I haven't done a video about how I like specifically make my money and how I've grown my finances like that, because I swear to God, it's not me, it's my team. It's me surrounding myself with people who believe in me and will fight for me and will fight for what I deserve. So I'm just going to say that if you have like maybe other questions about that, go ahead and put them in the comment section. Maybe if there's enough questions, I can just make a video out of it. But essentially, that's how I made more money is I guess for me, when I started making more money, it was actually talking about my debt. The very first video, that was the year. I posted that video December 2017 during Vlogmas. And then 2018 was my big year. And I think it's because I finally realized who I was as a person and that, you know, I'm never going to be a really popular beauty guru. I'm never going to be someone on Instagram with 1 million followers. That's just not going to happen for me. And I know that. But what I do provide to this online community is honesty and transparency. And that's what I started to give you guys January 2018. And that is what has helped me not only, you know, grow my community on YouTube and Instagram and get you guys engaged and get you guys talking, but that has also piqued the interest of brands. And so yeah, that's what I would say. If I've done anything, it's just to be unapologetically myself. But ultimately, the people who I surround myself with in terms of team have basically been the people who have helped me completely double and triple my income. Okay, so I want to say that. Secondly, I also contributed to my retirement fund the very first time in my life. I'm 32 years old, and I finally contributed to my Roth IRA. The max I could do was $5,500, and that is what I did. I did that even though I contributed it this year. It actually goes in 2018 because I filed it before I filed my taxes. So that means in 2019, I can contribute another $5,500, and that will go to my 2019 taxes. And if you follow Dave Ramsey, you know that he doesn't recommend putting money aside or contributing to your retirement fund until you're debt-free. But I've done the calculations. Oh, another thing. And I have about $74,000 left to go out of $200,000. So I will be debt free before the end of the year. And so for me, putting $5,500 towards retirement is, you know, not that much of a sacrifice. I throw this year or this month, I threw $10,000 towards my student loan debt, and year to date, I've contributed $50,000 towards student loan debt in 3 months. So I was okay putting aside money for retirement. Speaking of Dave Ramsey, so you guys know I like to use my Qapital app to put aside money for things I want to save up for. The video I talked about this is already in the cards if you're interested in learning more. So we already saved for Somni, which we went to, which is a tasting menu that was delicious. I saved for my laser treatment, which I'm going to go to my second treatment probably this coming weekend. And Brian and I finally saved. We're completely done saving for the doggy dentist. We put aside $2,000 to do that, and we finished it. So now I have my destination wedding. One of my friends, Jen, is getting married in Mexico next year. So I put aside money in my Qapital app to save for that. And what I'm going to do right now, since I have to set my next goal, is I'm actually going to start saving for my Dave Ramsey debt-free scream trip. Now I'm gonna put $5,000 aside for that because I wanna probably stay a week in Nashville, which is where Dave Ramsey's headquarters is. And I want to bring not only Brian, but my mom, but also the dogs. So it will be the dogs' first airplane flight and trip and everything. So that $5,000 includes 2 flights for Brian and I. My mom is a flight attendant, so she can fly for free. Trips or seats for the dogs, as well as a week stay at an Airbnb, plus a little extra for restaurants, activities, stuff like that, because ultimately that trip I want to be 100% on me. Like, this is my big trip, my first trip after being debt-free, so I definitely want to be able to save for it and, you know, have fun. Speaking of travel, I love how all of this is being connected. Brian and I did go to Bali. I'm hoping to get that vlog up later this week, if not the next week. Our friend is the founder of a nonprofit named Karmagawa, and they just do really good things in the world. So when we went to Bali, we did it to help open 2 kindergarten and preschool schools in Bali, as well as assist in a dog adoption event. So we, the only thing we paid for was a flight, which was $800 both ways, which I actually thought was really expensive because I've heard a lot of people say that Bali was really cheap to go to. So I'm just wondering how exactly you got there. The last night we were there, we stayed in kind of like a Ritz-Carlton hotel in Ubud, which is probably my favorite place in Bali. That's why my travel budget for the month is over. I think that was the first trip that I've gone to or gone on that I didn't have to worry about price. And not to say that I went totally buck wild, because I didn't, but that's the first trip I went on where I wasn't concerned about who was paying for what. I wasn't concerned about how I was going to pay for something, and I wasn't concerned about missing out on fun because I couldn't afford it. And I didn't really think that that would be something that would stick out to me, but it did. And I thought that was really, really, really cool. That being said, because we did go on the trip, my dog budget went over a lot by about $1,000, but that included food for the dogs, and then we have some over, so I probably won't have to pay for food for them until late April, and then also boarding at Rover. But that's why my dog budget and my travel budget are over than they normally are. But other than that, there's nothing new to report. Well, I actually did report a lot. April is a new month. If you haven't done your budget, get on it. If you kind of had an off month, it's okay. April's a new month, so get on it. And yeah, why don't you tell me in the comments any success stories you had for the month of March and what you hope to accomplish financially in April. I'm Asia Dang. I will see you guys next time. Bye.